What am I? Who am I? Why am I? How am I? Pretty good, thanks for asking! Philosophy! John Stuart Mill was born in 1806. At the age of 3, he could read Greek, and at 8, he could read Latin. God, I haven't achieved anything in my life. And in 1821, at the age of 17, he began working with the East India Company and became the chief examiner by age 50. In his 20s, he met his wife, Harriet Taylor. Harriet Taylor. At the age of 45, they got married. And then 7 years later, she died. But then, in 1859, John Stuart Mill published his first book, Liberty. You know you're accomplished when you've written the book on liberty. In 1861, he wrote his book on representative government. He wasn't a fan of direct democracy, he liked representative democracy. And then in 1863, he published his book on utilitarianism, which contains most of his philosophic ideas. In 1869, he published his final book, The Subjection of Women. And then in 1873, he's dead. What does that make him? Hey Siri. Good afternoon. 67. Damn, life was short back then, bro. I'll edit it so it makes sense. Hey, now let's start with his first book, Liberty. Liberty involves people doing what people want. Unless it doesn't hurt others, government should not be involved. Utilitarianism. This is the big one. This is his whole philosophy. Utilitarianism. Yes. John Stuart Mill states that one should act in such a way that produces the greatest aggregate happiness for the greatest number of sentient beings. By happiness, he meant the experience of pleasure and the absence of pain. In other words, eating cake philosophy. Because people are like, okay, if I am to do what makes me happy, then I'm going to eat cake all day. But no! If eating so much cake to the point where it gives you diabetes makes you happy, then go for it. But if not eating cake, going to school, getting to college, getting a good job, and then making a shit ton of money makes you even happier, then do that instead. Do that instead. So, hear me. Hear me out. Listen. Clamshell philosophy. These two guys, this guy and I'm God. And I tell the guy, hey, bro, you want to go become a famous artist who dies in his 60s, or do you want to become a living clamshell? And the guy will obviously say,
Eating drum races su channel más in YouTube channel yo sort subscribe.
Guy will obviously say, I want to become the human. On the other hand, God says, all right, fine. What if I make this clamshell live forever? Because eventually, the enjoyment of the clamshell floating around in the ocean will result in an aggregately larger proportion of happiness to the man who dies at the age of 60. Because if you live forever, you can experience infinite happiness! No! His argument to that philosophy is, a clamshell is not a sentient being. It does not work! Only humans can understand. What weighs out to be the best form of happiness? Is it Minecraft gaming? Are you gaming? Are you being cake person? Are you eating cake? But what about listening to Kanye? Or Ye, as nowadays he wants to be known as. If you're doing homework and you want to listen to that sweet Ye,
I am a god.
Go for it, bro! Carpe Dios! If wearing Minecraft merchandise and screaming into a microphone while recording a video for philosophy makes you happy, then the next book, The Subjection of Women. Now, everyone, I know what you're thinking. Jasmine, when are you getting up out of your desk and saying this is unacceptable? He cannot talk about women! How dare he open his mouth? You're not allowed! You have the penis! Penis! John Stuart Mill advocated for the equal treatment of women in all social affairs. Back then, this kind of thinking was rare, and probably brought to his attention by his recently dead wife. He argued that the current position of women are basically domestic slaves. Towards the end of his life, I don't think I covered this, but he joined the parliament, and he fought for women's rights, property ownership, and legal divorce. Yes, that's right! Women were not allowed to divorce their husband! He also believed that the level of education determined the amount of votes you were able to give in a representative democracy. And he also advocated that the people who know what they're talking about should be the people who are in charge. So basically, put doctors in charge of healthcare and put Donald Trump in charge of making TV shows.
Wrong.
Put Biden in a retirement home. Mr. Rostruber should run for presidency 2024. Let's go!
Get down on the bottom and she tied me. Pull up extra icy, I'm not playing hockey. Niggas think I'm weird and they don't really like me. Cause I can fuck your bitch and fuck your mom and auntie. Your girl's a 5, but your mom is a dime piece. And your auntie, her name is Miss Connie. I got one Glock, his name Clyde, the other one named Bonnie. These bitches